Warriors, welcome back to Gods of Alliance. If you're here, it means you want power, knowledge, and control over the battlefield. This is not luck, this is strategy. Let's break the game together. Today, we're talking about something that can completely shift priorities for many accounts: new skins. And this batch is dangerous. We're getting upgrades for heroes that already had impact. And in some cases, we're not talking about small gains. We're talking about improving the exact stats these heroes wanted to become even more oppressive. Some of these will arrive through events, some through Season Pass. And yes, one of them means we are once again entering the world of questionable life decisions and slot machines. So before you spend resources blindly, let's analyze every single skin and understand who wins, what changes, and where the value really is. Let's start. Dorian Skin plus Magic Penetration. We start with what might become one of the most impactful support upgrades in this release. Dorian receives a Skin Plus focused on Magic Penetration and Warriors. This is not a normal skin. This is Skin Plus, which means the value of the stat itself becomes much more meaningful because Skin Plus versions provide significantly stronger long-term scaling and investment value compared to standard skins. Now think about what Dorian actually does. Most people see Dorian and think only about vampirism, but Dorian's damage and pressure potential become much more relevant when enemies stop resisting magic. Magic Penetration means more of his magical damage goes through defensive layers, and more importantly, it increases the effectiveness of teams around him that want to punish, sustain fights. The moment enemies lose resistance, every magical interaction starts becoming more dangerous. And now imagine Dorian, paired with aggressive magic compositions. Heroes that already snowball through prolonged fights become harder to stop because Dorian is not only helping sustain, he starts contributing more meaningfully to offensive pressure. This also improves situations where enemies survive with small amounts of health. Less mitigation means cleaner eliminations. Another hidden advantage? Future-proofing. Magic Penetration is one of those stats that rarely feels wasted because defensive scaling always becomes more annoying later in the game. So this is not only immediate power, this is long-term value. And because this is Skin Plus, the benefit becomes even more attractive. Availability? This skin will be available during the event, Blazing Skins. And Warriors, mark your calendar, next day 30. If Dorian is part of your core plans, prepare resources, because this one has potential. Next, Kayla, and this one is dangerous in another way. Health. At first glance, some players will say, only health? Big mistake. Kayla getting health means she becomes even more resistant. And if there is one thing Kayla loves, it's staying alive long enough to keep applying pressure. Kayla already wants time. Time to reach targets. Time to activate pressure. Time to keep dealing damage. Extra health directly supports all of that. More survivability means less risk of being removed before creating impact. This becomes especially important against burst teams. Heroes that previously could force Kayla out early may now need more investment and more time. And that changes fights. Another benefit? Health works in multiple situations. PvP, long fights, sustained battles, general consistency. You're not investing into a niche stat. You're making the hero harder to delete. And Warriors. The scary part, resistance often creates damage. Because the longer a dangerous hero survives, the more opportunities they get. Health also improves synergy with healing and sustain effects. More total health means more effective recovery. More recovery means more battlefield presence. More battlefield presence means more opportunities to win. Simple, powerful, efficient, and just like Dorian, this skin arrives on day 30. Event, Blazing Skins. This event suddenly became much more interesting. Now, we move into Kendle and Warriors. This one is exactly the type of skin that changes perceptions. Magic Attack. And this matters because this directly scales the base of her power. Not utility, not survivability, power. This means the foundation of what she already does becomes stronger. Abilities, pressure, damage scaling. Everything connected to magical output starts receiving value. And when a hero receives scaling directly into the source of their calculations, that's where things become interesting. Magic attack tends to increase overall effectiveness rather than creating isolated improvements. You're not fixing one weakness, you're elevating the entire kit. This means stronger ability output, higher threat, better pressure windows, more rewarding investment. For players already committed to Kendle, this may become one of the cleanest upgrades available. And warriors, we already know where this arrives. Seer game. Here we go again. 2 slot machines. That's all I'm saying. Prepare mentally. Prepare emotionally. Prepare your resources. Because history tells us these events never arrive quietly. But from a value perspective, magic attack on Kendle makes sense. Very strong direction. And finally, the skin that surprised me the most, Kendle Health. Because this feels like the missing piece. Health. Not damage, not utility. Health. And sometimes that is exactly what transforms a hero. If magic attack improves what she does, health improves how long she gets to do it. That changes everything. More resistance, more uptime, better chance to complete rotations, better interaction with support, more consistency. Warriors. Many heroes become dangerous, not because they hit harder, but because they survive long enough to hit again. Health creates that. And for Kendle, this can remove one of the biggest limitations players feel, fragility. This means she becomes less dependent on perfect conditions, less dependent on ideal matchups, and potentially more flexible across teams. Also, having health and magic attack available creates interesting choices. Do you push offense? Do you stabilize? Do you balance both? That depends on account stage and goals. But one thing is clear. This skin feels like completing the package, and this one will be available through Season Pass, which means for many players, this could become the most accessible upgrade among today's announcements. Warriors. These skins are not random. Dorian receives more offensive value. Kayla becomes harder to remove. Kendle scales her power, and then gains the survivability many players were waiting for. Different directions, same objective. More control, more impact, more battlefield dominance. Tell me in the comments, which skin are you prioritizing? Skin plus Dorian? Tankier Kayla? Magic Kendle? Or Health Kendle? And if you enjoyed this breakdown, leave your like, subscribe, and activate notifications because more analysis is coming. Warriors, this is how we play the game. Not randomly, not blindly. With knowledge, with precision, with control. We don't build randomly. We build with intention. Master the mechanics. Control the fight. Let's break the game together.